A very good day to everybody. In our today's class, we will be understanding the position of Jain woman through the ages. In our last class, we understood the nature of the sangha as it is practiced or as sangha as an institution in the Jaina tradition, where we saw sadhu, sadhvi, shravak, shravikas are the four pillars of the Jain society. Okay, and the sangha means a fourfold Jain community. Now, what is so important that we are trying to discuss about women in Jainism? Yes, it is important. Why? Because we discussed the position of woman, one, sociologically, second, spiritually. Now, interestingly, there is a definition of woman. What would be the definition of a male and a female, or a man and woman? So it is said in the scriptures, of course, it has been described that a woman or a female is one who has vagina, breast, uterus. These are the linga, distinguishing mark of a female, or those who have these parts, that is a female. Who is a male? Of course, one who has that linga or penis, that is a male. Okay, so these are the physical characteristics by which you define male and a female, men or women. Now, what is so interesting is that there is a controversy about the spiritual liberation of woman in Jainism. What is the controversy? That when a soul is born or has received a female body, according to the Digambaras, the soul cannot achieve liberation in a female body. But the Shvetambaras deny this. They say that the physical body and the soul have no, in a way, relation in the spiritual liberation of a soul. Why? Because the Shvetambara text make a difference between the karmas of body, which is how do you attain the body karma by which your body is made, or by which your bone structure, your body, your beauty, your looks, your height, your sense organs, what is that defining karma? That is a nama karma. Okay, by which we all get the bodies. You get a male body, you get a female body, you get a neuter gender body or animal body of the gods, goddesses, or the naraki jīvas. That is a nama karma. So whatever nama karma you have attained in the past birth, that originated or ruptured, fructified in this birth, accordingly you get that body. And whatever the attraction you have towards the other gender or towards the same gender, it is because of the mohaniya karma. Say suppose if I have a female body, that is physical female body, that is of course because of the nam karma. But if I am attracted towards a female, that means my mohaniya karma is different. Meaning not necessarily that you may be attracted towards this gender of the opposite sex, but you will be attracted, might be, because if your mohaniya karma, whatever your mohaniya karma is, you may be attracted towards the same gender, you may be attracted towards the opposite gender, you may be attracted towards the third gender also. So the Shvetambaras have clearly made the distinction between Veda and Linga. Veda is a libido, an inclination. A male may be attracted towards male because the mohaniya karma will be different. Of course, physical features will be of a male. Okay, we have decided this. We have decided, meaning the definition is there. Who is Purusha, who is Stri, and who is a Napunsaka Linga. But Ved might be different. A male may be attracted towards male, a male may be attracted towards female, a male may be attracted towards neuter gender. Similarly with all the other two gender also. So very, very clearly these distinctions are given in the Jaina text, one thing, and secondly the controversy about having a male body and having a attraction towards male and between, meaning the controversy between Shwetambar and Digambar about the female liberation, meaning liberation in a female body. Now this controversy, this debate sparked with Acharya Kundacharya. In one of his Pahudas, he has written a grantha, Ashtapahuda, and in that one of the Pahuda he has sparked the debate that a soul in a female body can never attain liberation. And then there are texts which are answering Kunda, and then there are texts again answering from the Shwetambar text, answering Kunda and the Digambar tradition. Back and forth, there are 6 texts which are there discussing about the spiritual liberation of woman. Amongst them there is Digambar, there is Yapanya, and there is Shwetambar text. The Yapanyas did support the women's the spiritual liberation of women. The Shwetambars did talk about the spiritual liberation of women in the sense which I already told you. Now what is that what Digambar deny? Now of course in Digambaras, because they say that a female body in a way is slightly fragile. Meaning see, in a way female, in the private parts of the female body, say your the parts in the breast, the underarms, or your inner private parts, there are small microbes. Okay, there are small microbes which we can't see with our naked eye. So lot of violence is committed in the female body, one thing. Secondly, a female body has to undergo monthly cycle. That means she gets her periods and menstruations. So that also in that female body lot of violence is committed. Thirdly, of course, now when we talk about the first two, thirdly the important thing is ahimsa cannot be followed at the fullest in a female body. Then the Digambaras, as you know, that the Digambaras is a sect which believes in complete nudity. Clothes are also a possession. So after Tirthankar Mahavira, few 200 years after, 300 years after Tirthankar Mahavira, there was a separation in the Jaina sangha. One which wore the clothes, they are known as the Shwetambaras, white clothed Shwetambara, and one who completely believed in nudity, that is the Digambara, or it is the dishas, the directions are their clothes. Now each of us obviously say that they are the first and the other is the later on, but right now we don't go into that controversy. So when Digambaras believe in that once you become a Muni, according to the Digambaras, you have to shed off your clothes. Clothes are also a form of parigraha. No matter what, heat, cold, rainy season, they will have only one peacock feather and one a small lota, or a small you can say a vessel for water. Only 2 possessions. Peacock feather, why? They have to clean the place so that all the wherever, if they have to sit and they have to sleep, the living beings have to not be there. They have to set the living beings aside, and that pot of water which they carry, that is for the water. just two possessions, otherwise no possessions. It's ideal. Okay, and Shwetambaras, of course, they wear white clothes, and other possessions are there for food and the long broom and everything. But nevertheless, the point is that a female, if she takes initiation, she becomes an ascetic or a sadhvi, she cannot follow nudity completely. Obviously, because of her body structure, whatever parts of the body she has menstruations, because of the body the soul gets, the female body, nudity cannot be followed. She goes under monthly cycles, and her private parts are full of microbes. Lot of ahimsa is committed. So these are the reasons which are given in the Digambar text, apart from few others, that in that body one cannot attain liberation. That means what? Somebody who aspires for liberation has to do so much of tapasya that in the following birth one will get, the soul will be born in a male body, and only in the male body that soul will attain liberation. Now, it does not mean that all the munis who are born in the Digambar tradition or Shwetambar tradition attain liberation in that birth. Of course, it takes many births to attain liberation. But the point is, and therefore this controversy that Mallinatha, according to Digambaras, it was a male, not a female, as a Tirthankara, because according to them, obviously all the Tirthankaras are male. But according to Shwetambaras, Malli is a female. So in a female birth, in a female body, she attained liberation. Not only female body she attained liberation, but she also became a Tirthankara in the current Avsarpini Kala. So this is a very important fact to understand how the Shwetambaras have made the difference between the gender, that means the physical, and the mental, because of the Mohaniya karma, mental, physical, Nama karma. This distinction the Shwetambaras have clearly made. And we know today the controversy which went on for decades about homosexuality. Why homosexuality was justified, not justified, whether it is natural, not natural, whether it is only lust, whether it is real love. All these are there. So probably in Jainism, this is how, that means in the Shwetambara tradition, this is how they have explained it. Now the Shwetambaras have also given the dark side and the good side of the female. Now, as already said, one, they have explained the difference between the mental and the physical difference. Both, because the both karmas are separate, which make your mental bhavas different, mohaniya karma and physical features, the nama karma. Now, they also give examples, as one is Mallinatha, who was a female according to the Shwetambar tradition, who was a Tirthankara. They also give examples that of the current Avsarpini Kala, Rishabdeva, Rishabdev's mother, Marudeva, was first to attain liberation. Of course, these are the examples given by the Shwetambar tradition. That when she heard that Rishabdev has attained Sarvagnata and she was going on the elephant, she was going to meet her son, of course. But so when she was going and she was sitting on the elephant, she attained Keval Gnana. And then of course she attained liberation. So this is one example. Then you also have, according to the Shwetambaras, many such examples that Mahavira's first disciple, in the sense head of the Jaina sangha, was Acharya or Chandan Bala, who also attained liberation. Now there are examples of satis also who have undergone hardships and they have taken initiation and led a very highly spiritual life. Apart from it, we also have the example of Rajimati. We know the story of Neminath, the 22nd Tirthankara, and his would-be wife Rajimati, who was after when Neminath decided to renounce the world after hearing the cries of the animals who were slaughtered for their wedding. he immediately left his the procession, and he went and undertook initiation. After him, even Rajimati, his would-be wife, went and immediately went on the path of asceticism, and she also is said to have attained spiritual heights and liberation. Now there are many such examples in the Jaina tradition, in the Shvetambara tradition, which they say that females have attained liberation. So Pushpa Chula, Rajimati, Marudeva, Chandan Bala, these are few examples. But according to the Digambaras, as I said, in a female body liberation is not possible. Now this controversy what we spoke is about the spiritual liberation. Coming to the actual sociological part of it, what is happening in the society? Even if the male and the female are given equal position in the Jaina tradition, we see that females are highly venerated, meaning at least education is given, they are literate. Now, but the point is, can they become decision makers? Okay, if you see sociologically, meaning in the society, the question is, does female get an equal status as male? Meaning, are her decisions accepted? At one level, she is a homemaker. She takes care of so many things. At the other level, a male is earning source of money. Today, of course, females are also earning money. But money is not the central point. The central point is the power of the female, how she thinks. Just because she thinks emotionally, can an emotional decision be a wrong decision? Does not mean that males do not take emotional decision, but generally, on an average, we see males take a decision in a logical, rational way. Females take a decision in an emotional way. Okay, I'll give you one example. We are not here essentializing male and female, but the nature of male and female we are not essentializing. But in one example, let us understand. There are two mothers. One mother gives her two children two say chapatis, and another mother gives one child 3 chapatis and one child 2 chapatis. At one we think, oh, that mother who is giving her two children two chapatis or rotis, she is doing equality, means she is following equality. But what about that mother? Do we say she is doing injustice? Why is she giving one child 3 chapatis and another child 2 chapatis? Is she doing injustice? No. Actually, she is doing justice. Why? Because the age may be different, the hunger capacity may be different. But this mother is thinking from that, oh, I must be equal. I must not do injustice. So she gives chapati to both equally. But what about if one child has more hunger? What if he wants 2 chapatis more? So she may think she is doing injustice to the other. Actually, no. Her thinking is like that I want to treat both equally. That is equality. And another mother, suppose, who gives one, she understands the needs. Okay, maybe age group is different, hunger is different. He or she wants more chapatis, one more chapati than the other. So this is justice. Okay. So generally, females tend to be just in this way. I'm saying I'm not essentializing the nature of male female, but female tend to be just, understanding everybody's needs in their own way and taking care of needs individually. But generally a male will think like equality. Okay, I must be equal to everybody. So we are not essentializing. Some females also think from the first perspective, being a justice, meaning they think we have to do justice by giving equal to all. But the other person, the other mother, the second mother, we understand that she thinks justice is what? Taking care of the needs. Now this is feminine ethic of care. Okay, this is a ethics of care, meaning you understand how to take care. Generally females in the house or wherever they are, this is how they think generally, okay, on an average. But males think somewhere in a different way. So what we think, when in the outside spaces or in administration, we think that Oh, female who takes rational decision is correct, but those who take emotional decision, they are not correct. This is one way. This is how we have to understand where the difference is, the point of making a judgment. Okay, now this is something additional which goes on. So in the society, sociologically, if you see now, females whom, or today of course females have gone in outer spaces in the sense of earning money, decision makers. We need to study how they make decisions. This is a point of research. But nevertheless, you know, in the Shwetambar text, the dark side of female is given. They are jealous, they are emotional, psychologically weak. Now, just now I gave you the reason. These are the characteristic features. Like psychologically, this is what they think. This is how they think. So one has to rethink. Are this decision accurate today? Of course, this is given in the Sutra Grutang in one of their the Agama text of Shwetambaras. The dark side of a female, in the sense, passions are more, the preference, the decision making is weak, psychologically they are weak, jealousy is more. This is the dark side. Even though they talk about spiritual liberation of women, but also they talk about dark side of the women in this way. Now, so sociologically, if we see in the history of Jainism, till now very few studies are done about the contribution of women in the Jaina tradition. The quantum of Jain literature written by male acharyas or male shravakas is much more, meaning it has come to light. What about the contribution of the female acharyas? Nobody till date is the acharya in the Jaina Sangha. Forget Shwetambar, even in forget Digambaras, even in Shwetambaras, no female is given a position of a acharya. She has never headed any Sangha so far. So even if they talk about spiritual liberation, the sociologically or in the Sangha, she is not given the charge. Okay, as equal, a male acharya, upadhyaya, all are male. What about sadhvis? What about the sadhvis? They also have written, but those things are unknown. Like for example, in Khartargaj, there is a recent study, a small study which I just did. Khartargaj sadhvis have written some works. Of course, it is in the regional language. One work is in Prakrit. So we have to understand the sadhvis have done, given to the society in terms of literature. Like the sadhus have contributed to, acharyas have contributed to philosophy, logic, aesthetics, etc. Even the sadhvis must have. But unfortunately, that literature is still not coming in forefront. So we need to study the contribution of females. So as I said, that sociologically the position of the woman is still weak, at least in the sadhvis, because they are not given that decision making position. They have not become any acharya or upadhyaya or panyas. Contemporary times, we all have heard about the name Acharya Chandana ji. She is, I think, 85 years old today. Now she is the one sadhvi who has done a revolutionary work, social work in Bihar. And nowadays, wherever she is concentrating on health, physical health and mental health, meaning jnana and darshan, yes, physical health and emotional health, mental health and intellectual health. Wherever there is one tirtha, one school has to be there. And so, or whenever there is a temple, there has to be a school. So your intellectual ignorance has to go. So no doubt in Bihar now 50 years ago, 6 sadhvis went in the with the inspiration of the Guru Amar Muniji, Upadhyaya Amar Muniji, Chandana ji and her other 5 sadhvis 50 years ago in place in Bihar near Rajgir. Virayatan is the name of her foundation, where they worked for the upliftment of the downtrodden, for the health, for education. And today this institution has become such big, she is given the title of Acharya. And today there are 15 sadhvis who are working for the betterment of moral upliftment. How can one be morally uplifted? First you give them education, uplift them, make them self-efficient, self-develop them, and then they are going to listen to morality. So they are reaching to the downtrodden people, and 50 years ago, Bihar we know was the most notorious state, but in that area they worked, and their mission has spread throughout India. So of course there's a controversy about social service. Why do this? Once you take initiation, social service is not allowed, they should not do. All those controversies we take in some other lecture. But today we understand she is given a position of Acharya today. Yes, we do have an example that Acharya Haribhadra Suri's guru was Yakini Mahattara or Mahattara Yakini. So he is also known as Yakini Putra. So she was also an intellectual, very intellectual or highly intellectual female. How many such examples we have? Yes, you might have examples of the queens who have contributed to building of temple and giving land and spreading Jaina religion. We have examples of such, like Abakka Devi in South India, where she fought the Portuguese. We do have examples of such females also, but we have to expand and get the sadhvis who are highly intellectual. Their creativity is so lying. If you see the female take charge and do lot of things, so their creativity is also very. Today on the contrary, sadhvis are more in learning, female are more into education. So one has to take this seriously and understand. Of course, the Shwetambar Digambar controversy is still there. So in the Digambar tradition, it's, you can say, we can say it's a weak, that the sangha is weak, but they wear, when they take diksha, they wear the white sari. Of course, you can't complete nudity would not be possible. They wear a white sari. So in the future, but they have to, the soul will get a male birth according to them, and the soul will attain liberation. But in Shvetambara, liberation is possible in a female birth. Secondly, education. Yes, females are taking more education, they are becoming decision makers. Thirdly, the point is whether the society gives them that relevant position which they deserve. That is a point of question. And fourthly, much needed research has to be done. The contribution of sadhvis in the Jain tradition, or the women in the Jain tradition, maybe sadhvis spirituality, creatively, they have written poems or dramas or logic, philosophy. The works must be there somewhere, lying in some grantha bhandaras or libraries. They have to be pulled out and worked upon. And apart from it, the Jaina Shravikas, who are entrepreneurs, who are homemakers, who are decision makers, who are professionals, one has to do this research and find out how they are making decisions, how they are managing house also, and they are so what are the skills, what is the thought processes, one has to understand. So thank you friends for this lecture, and in our next we will understand the very important point of non-violence and vegetarianism, world peace, how in Jainism these things are understood. Thank you.